okay, what is the nature of the firm in a decentralized autonomous organization? And how do resources collaborate in an environment where there's sort of like trustless value transfer? And what is the value of coming together and working together? And really what happens is at first you have chaos, and you need like a core group of people to come together and manage that mischief. And once that mischief is turned into processes, whether that mischief can be turned into processes from day 0 or at day 100 or at day 1000, right? As soon as you can manage it into a set of codified rules, right? Now you have an opportunity to decentralize. And I think we've been called EnDAOment from day one, but we are just now getting to the point where we're going to hand over the election of our board of directors to a token body that's reflected as as the actual DAO, right? Like there's been this sort of nagging pain in my heart that we call ourselves EnDAOment, and that we're yet to sort of recognize or realize that full vision. And I think, DAOs in the space get a lot of flack for not being really DAOs yet. But I generally think that the market will give you time, as long as you continue to be transparent about where you're headed, what your plans are for progressive decentralization, and articulate why you don't have a choice right now but to be a little bit centralized, right? We have a tax compliance architecture that's critical to the value proposition of EnDAOment.org, right? We cannot be anything but tax exempt. Otherwise, what's the point of interacting with EnDAOment's contracts, right? Other than just out of the good of your heart. But even then, the nonprofits who want to accept cash from us, they want to know that we're compliant, and they want to know that there's a real world entity there that is actually a tax exempt nonprofit, because it affects their compliance side too. And so we don't have a choice but to prioritize centralized compliance in the US market first. But now what we're getting to do, now that that foundation is laid, is we're able to say okay, what can we transition progressively to a decentralized token voting body? And how can we give away that token in a way that reflects people's contribution to the underlying advancement of the mission of EnDAOment.org? And how can we do that in a way where we don't risk the entity status that we have at EnDAOment.org? And that takes many thousands of dollars, many hours of legal work, a lot of entity transitioning. And that's what we're in the thick of right now, and really looking forward to having out in the world, right around Q4 this year.